Welcome to Podcast 14.
Let's go, everybody.
Tell somebody about Jesus.
How's everybody doing today?
Come on, somebody. Nothing's sticking anymore. Well, can't work in my office today. It's flooded.
Man, there is just a good vibe happening today.
Oh, it's so good to be with you guys today. And it's just Pastor Aaron and me.
I know, it's so sad. We don't have a guest on today, Pastor Luke.
You know what? It's okay.
It's like, we got this.
Exactly. And, you know, the thing is that we needed to record a podcast. And I told you, we're going to record a podcast today. You ready to go? You ready to do this? And you're like, yeah, let's go. And you waited for a topic.
Yeah, I've been waiting all day for a topic.
And I went into my office and I started researching and I started looking up things, and I was uninspired by everything that I saw.
This is true. We're not making any of this up. So we're just here. And we're just here.
This is it. But we do know one thing. We want to talk about something exciting.
That's right, we do. And I think that, man, this is an exciting time of year, Pastor Luke.
Actually, it is.
It's a really exciting time of year.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's an exciting time of year?
Well, okay, so I think it's an exciting time of year. So our church came off of spring convention.
Oh yeah,
Which is
so powerful.
Which is powerful, which is fun and exciting, and I love that time of year. And then we go into the summer months. We got like the mission trips coming up. We got youth summer camp coming up for the kids. We've got summer break for all the students coming up.
Oh,
you know, and all this stuff is so exciting. It just gets there's good energy in the air.
Oh yeah, we got volleyball tournaments happening.
Oh yeah,
we got our huge slip and slide dodgeball tournament coming up at Ignited.
there's a slip and slide dodgeball tournament coming up.
Yeah.
Do
Oh, yeah.
you slide?
June 8th.
Are they separate things, or is this a
No.
slip and slide dodgeball?
It is slip and slide dodgeball. It is combined.
Okay,
So you'll be throwing a dodgeball
So-
on a slip and slide.
So did you? This was a while ago, but there was a little like article written about the 10 most dangerous things that youth ministries do.
No, I didn't see that.
Separate. These are on the list. Just separate these events. These are in the top 10: slip and slides and dodgeball. Do you remember a time when we had a slip and slide here at the church and the ambulance showed up?
Oh yeah, I was there. I was there for big time.
Why is it? Okay, so why is it when we plan our slip and slide events at church, it's the coldest day of the year?
Every single time. It is the coldest day of the summer. It'll be like 90 degrees the week before. And we're like, we got to slip and slide this Wednesday or this Friday or whatever the day is.
Yeah.
And it's like 64 degrees outside.
High.
Yeah, that's the high at 4 p.m.
4 p.m., that's the high. That means when we start sliding at 9 p.m., it's 53 degrees outside. And we're like, the last thing I want to do is get covered in hose water.
Yeah.
Which, why is that so? That's the most coldest
It's
water.
just straight from the ground.
Yeah. You got to we're going to get covered in hose water and go down this slide. It's 53 degrees outside. It's like the coldest day of the year. It's the strangest thing in the world. So the last time we had our slip and slide event, no, this was maybe 2 times ago for our young adults ministry. Do you remember this day? This was the craziest day ever.
I don't. You'll have to remind me.
I can't barely put into words what the weather was.
Oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
How do you describe the weather this day? It was not a tornado. I would describe it as the scariest storm of your life that's not a tornado and not a hurricane.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate description. I remember that really well because I had just started dating Dana at that point,
This was an omen for your relationship then, right?
and I don't know about that, but we had just started dating, and like obviously now we're married, but she was like, I got to church early, so I was there like helping to set up before the storm rolled in. and she was going to come to the event, and it was raining and lightning so much that she decided to, like, she drove down the road like a mile and turned around and went back to the house
Yeah.
because like the storm was so crazy. And she sat in the house and waited it out.
This storm was so scary. Jen got to church earlier than me because she was helping out with worship. And so I'm arriving to church probably, 45 minutes before doors open.
Yeah.
On my drive to church, it felt like I was battling Helm's Deep. What the heck was...
It was
I'm
like the hardest rain you've ever been in.
Not just the hardest rain, but like it went from daylight to darkness. And it was like 6:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
I have never been in such darkness that wasn't nighttime darkness before in my entire life. I'm like driving, I'm like, this is crazy. And then the most lightning.
There was so much lightning. Oh
What
my
was
goodness.
that?
So much lightning that day. It was
never-
insane.
Okay, so I'm not one to like tempt God or like curse the heavens, but like I was driving to church and there was intense lightning strikes every 2 seconds. This is not even an exaggeration. Just wham, 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 wham. And I'm like, what is this? I've never even experienced anything like this. It was like an electrical storm beyond anything I've ever experienced in my entire life. Torrential downpour rain, darkness. It's like 6:15 in the afternoon. I'm driving to church and I'm terrified. I'm scared. And I'm thinking to myself, nobody's coming to church tonight for a slip and slide. Who would show? I don't want to. Nobody's going to come to this event. This whole entire event is based upon slipping and sliding outside.
Yeah.
And this is the weather. And I'm driving to church. I'm starting to get frustrated because I'm like, we put so much effort into this night.
Oh, yeah. It's a big night.
It's a huge night.
Lots of work.
Lots of work goes into this. And it's being ruined by this storm. And not only, if it wouldn't have been so bad if it was like the only time our slip and slide events have been ruined by weather, but this is the 10th time in a row that our slip and slide events have been ruined by weather.
Yeah, but the weather actually cleared up.
Yeah,
you
well,
remember that?
Yes. Well, so essentially what happened was that by the time like 7 o'clock rolled around, it wasn't raining anymore.
Nope. And then by like 8 o'clock, the sun actually came out.
Yep.
And that was it was pretty great.
And then I think that might have been the last year we did it.
That might have been the last year that we did a Wet and Wild with the giant slip and slide.
But the year before that, with our giant slip and slide, it was cold and rainy, and poor Hannah, her last name used to be Brockway, but poor Hannah, she's married Steve Mullins, right?
Yep.
So she's Hannah Mullins now. She broke her leg on the slip and slide, and it was a very, very sad tragic event.
Very sad.
It was cold and rainy and wet, and she's laying on her back, screaming out in pain, and Hannah ruined the vibe.
Come on, there was such a good vibe happening,
and then she's like,
she just ruined it.
She's like, this is a good vibe. How can I make it all about me?
I know.
I know she thought that. I know she thought that.
That's exactly what was going
and
through
she
her
did
mind.
make it all about her. Everybody gathered around to see Hannah's broken leg. Then the ambulance showed up.
Yep.
And then
I remember.
wheeled her away into the ambulance. And then it was like she left and everybody was scared to go down the hill again.
The party just died.
Party died.
Man.
But one year in particular, our Wet and Wild night was awesome. It was hot and sunny, and tons of people showed up, and we had a hot tub outside.
I remember. This was the first year we had the hot tub?
First year we had the hot tub.
Oh, yeah. So good.
We bought the hot tub from Sam's Club or something like that.
Yep.
It's just that portable blow-up hot tub.
It's fantastic.
We set it up 2-3 days ahead of time, put that ice cold hose water in it, and churned it on. And by the time Friday night, whatever rolled around, woo.
It was good.
It was hot.
Oh, it was fantastic.
That was
awesome.
awesome.
So good. I loved it.
So you're doing a Wet and Wild night. Or you're doing a slip and
A
slide.
slip and slide plus dodgeball.
And dodgeball alone is a little bit risky.
Oh yeah, I remember one of my first, or I guess it would have been my second summer in Ignited. When I was in 8th grade, Pastor Jake did a big dodgeball tournament, and it was awesome. And I remember Ben Foreman was on my team, and most of you guys probably don't know who Ben Foreman is, but Ben Foreman is like a beast of a human being
Yeah, he's big and tall and wide.
and super strong.
Yeah, but not he's wide in all the right spots.
Yeah.
He's
Kinda-
built, like
He's the closest human being that I've ever met to The Rock.
yeah,
You know?
natural. He's like natural rock.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Ben Foreman. And I remember Zach Monty was in 7th grade, and it was his first like summer Ignited event. And
He got his head blown off with a dodgeball from Ben Foreman.
no, Ben Foreman picked Zach up and used him as a shield.
Yeah, well, he is naturally an armor bearer at that point. God bless his ministry.
And so that I don't know why, but that memory of Ben Foreman picking up Zach Monty and using him as a shield is like forever burned in my memory.
Nice. That is.
And so we're combining them, you know?
I hope nobody gets hurt.
I hope so too. That'd be a bad night.
Yeah, that would be a bad night. It really would.
Yeah.
Let's talk about right now. We're gonna give the audience some television shows to watch.
Okay. I like this.
You like this segment?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I bet there's some people out there right now who are like, the summer's hit.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? We got we want to give you some television shows that we like and we recommend to you that you can enjoy this summer.
That's great. Let's do it.
It's because there's a television show, Aaron, that we've been bonding over for about 3 weeks now.
It's true.
Let our audience know what this television show
All
is.
right, so there's a television show. It's called Alone, and it is. If you think about the concept honestly, just by so if you've never watched the show, it kind of sounds boring.
You're totally right. When you say the word alone, of all the sad emotions I would make a show out of, I don't know if that would be the number one I'd go with.
Right, exactly.
I'm all alone.
But it's these
Thirst. Now that's something I'd watch.
the premise of Alone is there's 10 survival experts, and they're dropped off in the middle of nowhere, separately.
Then the locations change depending on the season.
Yep, the season that me and you've been watching with our wives has been in the Arctic.
They're in the Arctic
They're
Circle.
literally in the Arctic Circle, way up in Canada somewhere. And basically the show is whoever can survive the longest wins.
That's the basic
That's
premise
the
of the
basic
show.
premise of the show. But in this season, they did it a little differently, actually.
Well, tell them though, this is where the mind game comes in, because you're alone.
Oh, yeah.
They do their own camera work. There's not a cameraman with them. They're trained to use the cameras, to set up the tripods, and to wear the GoPros on their chest, and as they walk around, and they narrate their life while they're there. Whoever can survive the longest wins, but the mind game of this whole project is that they have no idea how long they actually have to be out there.
That's right.
Essentially, if there's 10 contestants and they all quit by day 30, then you got to it's
that simple.
It's that simple.
You win at day 30.
But it could go 120 days.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're the last one alive.
You have no idea.
But a camera crew comes in eventually and says, they're the last one standing.
Yep.
You've won.
Yeah,
and they win cash or whatever it is.
Yeah, so this is crazy. This last season, they did it a little bit differently.
Yes, they did.
There was a 100-day mark, and nobody had ever lasted 100 days in the Arctic before. So they said if you can last 100 days in the Arctic, then anyone who lasts 100 days gets $1 million.
So to potentially, if all 10 could get $1 million.
Potentially. And this season I thought it was really, really good. We were watching it. We'd come into the office and talk about it at lunch.
Yeah.
Because it was really, I highly recommend it. It's a pretty clean show too.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why we do recommend it is it's clean.
Yeah, they're just out. They're totally by themselves. So
yeah, it's survival. at its finest.
Yeah, and it is a really big mental game too.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge mental game. One of the reasons, so my wife has a degree in psychology, and I think this is one of the reasons that she loved this show. She was like a little bit hesitant to get into it at first. She's like, I don't know if
You'd
I want to
think
watch.
it's like a manly thing.
Right. She's like, I don't know if I want to watch this like guys surviving kind of a show.
Well, there's girl contestants.
There is
too.
girls.
I think that's why the girls like it.
I think so too. And then she jumped into it, and I actually watched the first episode on a plane, and she was sitting next to me, and she was like so intrigued when we landed. She was like, we need to watch that whole season together.
Yeah.
And so we did. And
Yeah.
it's really good.
And my wife loves it too. And so it's hard to find shows that both spouses really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
But this is a television show that we really enjoy. I'm sad that I finished the season.
I know.
It was a great season. I'll probably have to grab another season and get going on a brand new season. But this is a show. That's a show that my wife and I really like.
Yeah, us too, for sure.
There's another show that my wife and I really like, but it's kind of embarrassing.
I think I know what show it is.
Why is it embarrassing to like this show? It is.
I don't know why it's embarrassing, but I agree. It's a little bit embarrassing. Just a little bit. I think it's a little bit embarrassing because the show's been around for so long.
You're right, because it reached its height in popularity 15 years ago.
Yeah, I remember it 15 years ago being like everybody was watching it. It was I remember watching it, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched it in like 10 years.
Nobody has. But for some reason, my wife and I watch it, and for some reason, CBS keeps making new seasons of it.
Why?
Why? I'm happy they are, but I might be the only one. They're making it for me. So the show is Survivor.
Survivor. Yep, there it is.
It's like the longest running. It is the longest running reality television show ever,
Wow.
and it's a show that my wife and I absolutely love. We're talking about. This is a show where it is all about your social dynamics.
Yep. Totally.
It's so strange, and we've figured out the show. They will vote off the strongest because they're threats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't want to be the best.
It seems so counterproductive.
It does seem counterproductive.
Don't be the best.
You don't want to be the best at everything, because then you're a threat and they vote off the threats. But then again, there's another side of this. You don't want to be the worst,
Okay, see, that one makes sense.
because you never win.
Right.
You will get dragged along for a long time. They won't vote you out because you're not a threat.
Right.
You're not a threat to their chance of winning. So they pull you along. Nobody is going to give $1 million to the worst player. That's why they
Right.
drag the worst player along almost the whole game.
Yep.
They're not a threat. You want to be right in the middle.
It's the one you most medium suspect.
This is everything's an Office reference. I don't know if everybody's caught it. We have referenced The Office numerous times so far on this show. When I said I'd watch a show about thirst, that's an Office reference from Dwight. This is another Office reference from Dwight.
Dwight.
You want to be the most mediums. What is it
It's the one you most medium suspect.
That's the one you want to be on Survivor. You want to be the one who is right in the middle. Because if you're not the best, nobody's watching you.
Right.
And if you're not the worst, then you're good. Then you're still on the radar to get votes
Right.
to win the money. So anyway, we can tell usually around episodes 2 and 3 now who probably is going to win the game.
Okay.
And it's the quiet ones who don't annoy people, because if you're annoying everybody, it's hard to win. And then so you've got to be polite, and you've got to be gracious, and then you've got to be behind the scenes cutthroat.
Gotcha.
Behind the scenes cutthroat. If you're demonstrative and loud and aggressive with voting people off, then you create all these enemies, and you'll get voted off.
Yeah.
But if you're quietly getting people voted off and not ruffling too many feathers along the way and not being noticed too much, then you typically will win the game. It's an interesting strategy.
It is an interesting strategy.
And that's why it's a mind game, and as you watch it, you watch people self-destruct.
Yep.
You get cranky and get annoying and like, oh, they're ruining it right now. They're ruining it. They just need to be quiet. Like, and so you start to get frustrated, or you start to like laugh at thinking, oh, they're gone. They don't even know it, but they're gonna go.
Yep.
And so it's a fun show. And my wife and I, she in particular, got me into it.
Okay.
I laughed. What happened was I went away on a trip, and she had a girlfriend staying with her.
Yeah.
And her girlfriend came in from out of town and was staying with her. And when I got home from my trip, they were talking nonstop about Survivor, and I was kind of mocking them. And now,
And now you're in.
Now I'm in.
They got you. You're hooked, man.
I'm like, who watches Survivor? What is this? 2004? Like, nobody does it. And now I'm here. I'm in it.
Here we are.
Here we are, folks.
You're recommending it to all the youth and young adults that listen to our podcast.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the show I recommend. It's great. There's
Okay.
like 38 seasons on Hulu, so you can't go wrong. Which is not necessarily a good thing. I don't know why.
Why is there so many seasons?
Why is it a bad thing to have so many seasons?
I feel that's just too long.
You're right.
Seinfeld was the #1 show in TV, and they stopped at 9 seasons on purpose. They were
know.
on top, and they said we're gonna be done because if you go too much longer, it's just too much.
They ended on top, but Survivor's like, forget that theory. We're going to end never. I don't know when they're ending. 38. There's like 38 seasons now or something like that.
That's so many seasons.
What's a show that, you're embarrassed to say you like?
I don't know if okay, here's one. This is a show that me and my wife watched, me and Dana watched, and we actually found it while we were watching her younger brothers. And it's a kid show on Netflix, and it's called Making Fun. And it is it's like a kids reality show where there's these four
Is
like
fun spelled F-U-N?
yeah.
Okay.
It's these 4 super burly men who make toys. And they're really, really good at making like really large size toys. And so they have kids that come in.
No. Explain one toy that they made.
Okay, so they made a dinosaur that was about 11 feet tall that shot tacos out of its mouth. And I think it might have pooped too.
Like candy?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like that's like and huge toys like that.
Okay.
One time they built a boat that looked like a guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a rowboat that looked like a guitar. They like built it totally from scratch.
Yeah.
One time they built unicorn bicycles that farted glitter, and they had a race. I'm trying to think.
Where did they come up with these ideas?
So that's kind of the show. Is they actually have kids that come in and pitch ideas, and they're like,
That's why these ideas sound so weird. Why is
Yeah.
my voice being all weird? Excuse me.
I don't know, but so these kids come in like if they're on the movie screen and they have a bunch of them that cycle through in every episode, and then they pick an idea. They're like, that sounds ridiculous, but we could at least build it.
Okay.
And then they build it, and they're really funny. They're like really good friends, and they have like all these jokes, and it's really funny. One time they built a pirate ship, and I can't remember what was funny about the pirate ship, but it was a pirate ship that they built on a car, and they could drive it around on land.
What's this? How do you watch this show?
It's on Netflix,
Okay.
and it's called Making Fun.
It sounds like you need to finish your sentence. Making fun of something.
It's just making fun.
I know it, but I want you to finish the sentence so badly, but you're not. Just making fun.
And that's it.
That's it.
One time they built a giant nutcracker that also had swords for hands and chopped up vegetables.
How big was it?
It was like 10 feet tall.
No, so everything's huge.
Yeah.
This is cool.
It was a pretty cool show. We were definitely amused as we watched it. But like I said, it's like in the Netflix kids section.
Okay.
But
I can get into it.
yeah, it was pretty cool. There's like 6 episodes or something like that. It's not long.
Oh, call me when there's 38 seasons. I don't even attempt to get in anything unless it's been around for at least 37 seasons.
Yeah, 37 seasons and 20 years.
Yeah. There you go. So Jen and I, will like some shows, and then they take them off the air.
Oh, so frustrating.
It is frustrating. There's actually a show that we watched during, I think it was like one of the pandemic winters that we were in. Nothing going on, nothing happening. But there was a mini series put out by Fox or something like that called The Moody's.
Okay.
And it's called like The Moody's Christmas, I think is what it was called. And essentially it's about a family. Their last name is the Moody's.
Yep.
And they are just total. It's like the parents, and there's 3 children, and they're adult children.
Okay.
And they're total losers.
Why does watching some other losers make you feel a little bit better about yourself?
Because we are kind of loserish ourselves. So we're like, yeah, woohoo. And so you're like, I really feel that right there. I connect with that. And so in there, I forget how many, it was a mini series, so not that many episodes, but it made us laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And apparently it was popular enough where Fox turned it into a TV show. And so I think that there is a complete full season now, and we watched it, and it is funny.
Okay.
Not super, like, I wouldn't recommend it to like kids and families, but Jen and I really enjoyed the miniseries over the Christmas time.
Yeah.
It was focused around the Christmas season. It really made us laugh a lot.
Yeah.
But that's a show that's like we really like, but they're not doing anything else with it.
Right.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah. There's another show that I really liked, especially in its early couple seasons. Some of the characters that I thought made the show really good ended up leaving, or they weren't consistent on the show anymore. But was Last Man Standing with Tim Allen.
Yeah, totally.
I think especially the first.
They changed all the actors up and pretended like nothing happened.
Yes. So once they did that, it was like it wasn't as good.
That was weird.
And they
like
did
his daughter is different.
Yeah. 2 out of the 3 daughters change actors throughout the lifetime of the show.
I don't like when they do that.
And then one of them just like disappears, and like they mention her, but she's like off at college and then at Air Force training or something. I don't know. She like disappears and isn't part of the show anymore, which was sad. So, but like the first 2, I think it's like 2 seasons or maybe 3 seasons of Last Man Standing were really funny. They made me laugh.
Yeah.
Tim Allen's really funny. I think he's hilarious. And I mean, I even think like Home Improvement, the show from like the 90s, is hilarious.
It is funny.
I love that show.
Ever heard of a show called The Wonder Years?
I think I've heard of that show. I've never watched it though.
Oh, it's really good. Very, very good. It's an older show. Hasn't been on the air for a very long time. It was like pre-Seinfeld.
Okay.
Or like the beginning of Seinfeld, kind of
I
like
was
right
going to ask if that was like an 80s show because I thought I'd seen it somewhere.
I can't remember the year it came out, but very, very good. I really recommend. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. You could find it and watch it, but really good. Like I totally recommend it. You and Dana should just look it up, watch it. It's about a family growing up in like a middle class family growing up in America, and in a neighborhood, and like the dynamics, their struggles, their relationship with the parents and the kids, and it's really, really good. Like it has a great moral. There's a great moral to the story too.
I like shows that are like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I like that. We like that show a lot. It's one of those shows where like it kind of ended sooner than we wanted it to.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. But it ends. There's nothing they can do.
Right.
It comes to a serious conclusion.
Okay.
And like how Seinfeld just concludes.
Yep.
And you're like, but this is what this show does, which is great because there's actual closure.
Right.
It's not just like the show's canceled and you're like, oh, I wonder what happened to my favorite character ever. And they're gone, But this show is really good. I really recommend it.
That's so good. What about, is there any movies that have come out recently that you would recommend? Because there's one that came out recently that I really had really low expectations for. And I was...
It was good?
It was really good.
What was that?
It was The Atom Project.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
It's on Netflix.
It's a Netflix only.
Yeah, it's a Netflix only.
Yep.
And a lot of times, I'm not a huge fan of those Netflix only movies. I feel like they're kind of sometimes can be like lower quality.
Yeah, they are.
But this one was really good.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Now the movie that Jen and I just watched, it came out in theaters, but now you can actually just rent it on Prime if you want to. It's very clean, which is awesome. And it was
Yeah.
a fun adventure. It's not like the most serious of movies.
Yeah.
It's called Uncharted.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to go see that in theaters, but I was
It's Tom Holland. He plays the Spider-Man.
yeah,
He's
yep.
in it. Mark
And then
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, yep,
And Mark Wahlberg is a very good actor.
yep,
And he's my favorite in comedies.
yeah. Mark Wahlberg's so funny.
And you want to watch a really, really, really funny movie? It's what's the movie where they adopt all those kids in foster care?
Instant Family.
Instant Family. Oh my gosh,
Such a good movie.
that movie's hilarious.
It's so funny, and it's got a great message too. That's such a good movie.
It's a very, very good movie. Awesome morals. And so this movie, though, Uncharted, has Mark Wahlberg in it. I thought it was going to be like a James Bond-esque kind of flick where like it was like be like serious and like hardcore, but it
Yeah.
was like a little bit more adventurous, National Treasure style,
Okay.
which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed as it went, and then it ended, and I looked at my wife and I was like, that was really clean.
Yeah.
Like, that's a family movie. I'm happy we watched it. It didn't go exactly how as I planned, but it's a fun adventure, and it's really clean, and I do recommend it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
good.
there you go. There you go. I think that's good.
That's good.
That's good. And wow, it's been great to be with you, audience. Podcast 14. Wow. Maybe our best one yet.
What a podcast.
Yeah, we don't need guests.
If you guys, if you watch this podcast on YouTube, make sure that you drop some comments below and let us know what you thought about this podcast. And maybe even if you watch on or listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, maybe just go over to YouTube and drop some comments. What are some shows that you guys are into right now?
That'd be awesome. Listen, we are about to hit the summer months, which means no shows, no sports. I mean, baseball's not really a sport.
What?
You can eat a hot dog and play at the same time.
If you're in right field,
Oh, there you go. Or pitcher.
pitcher's the most involved player in the entire game of baseball.
Baseball is boring, though. And so there's nothing happening. It is. Comment below if it's
No.
your thoughts on baseball.
No, if you're
Yeah,
a baseball
comment
fan,
below on your-
comment below and let Pastor Luke know that baseball is very exciting.
No, you tell me the truth. You love baseball or is baseball boring? Just comment below. I won't hurt my feelings if you like baseball, but I think we're about to find out the truth about baseball when there's only 10 people in the stands at the Tigers game
Well, that's because the Tigers stinks.
because baseball stinks. And so there's nothing happening. So drop some show lists so we can get into some stuff. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, we
And
would.
give us your thoughts on baseball.
Yeah, how great it is.
Whatever it is, just give us your thoughts. All right, it's been great to be with you, audience. We'll see you next time. Right back here. It's going to be great. Have a great day.
See you guys.
Get out there and tell somebody about Jesus.
How's everybody doing today?
Come on, somebody.
Nothing's sticking anymore.
Well, can't work them off today. It's flooded.
Man, there is just a good vibe happening today.